I never really planned on moving to Florida. I was just gonna help my friend for like a couple of weeks. We were like working on roofs because all of the roofs had got blown off the houses, and I was supposed to get paid. And then I was gonna go back to Texas, but then like all these people had insurance, but then they would get their insurance money, and then they wouldn't want to pay anybody. So I waited around and waited around, and I never got paid. But meanwhile, I had a house with my brother in San Antonio, and that we kind of shared the rent on. But I wasn't able to send him any money, and so, without my money, he couldn't afford the house. So he wound up having to move. But during the process, I lost pretty much everything I had. The guy that got me to come to Florida, I borrowed his son's car to get here. That guy actually had to come back all the way to Florida to come back to get his car. I had another brother that was living in Tampa, so then I moved in with my brother in Tampa, and I worked for a while and saved up some money and bought a truck. And then from there, I just kind of was going back and forth to Tampa, to Port Charlotte, to Punta Gorda, just working. It was hard because I didn't have anything to go back to in San Antonio anymore. And it was lonely, kind of scary. I mean, I was literally starting all over. Quit drinking, brand new place, brand new city, don't know anybody. I'm pretty much starting from scratch, and I didn't have a plan. It was just a really weird time in my life. I got there New Year's Day. I think it had happened a couple months before that. Man, when I got there, that place was leveled. There was debris everywhere. And it was crazy because everything was shut down. You couldn't even find a motel to stay at because, most of them were wiped out. Also, that there was a material shortage too, because you couldn't find anything at a Home Depot. You couldn't find anything. It was hard to get food. It was just people were living in little mobile homes next to their house. There was a mountain you could see from the highway of just trash and debris and trees, and it was definitely a bad storm. It did a lot of damage. I felt weird anyways because when I was in Punta Gorda, I stayed at a Motel 6 for months. I'll never forget, the police came and knocked on my door, to see if everything was alright, because I had been there, I guess because I had been staying there for so long. I don't know if they thought I was some kind of a fugitive or something, but I was just it started to feel awkward because who stays in a motel longer than, a week, I saved up a little bit of money and I bought a guitar. So, I would get off of work and I would play my guitar and practice and, write songs and stuff like that. During that time, I'd put ads out, trying to find bands to play with, or, to find drummers that would play with me, or I was looking for singers. I was just trying to get something going, I remember there was this one drummer that I went to go check out, and he was an awesome drummer. He could play, the fastest drums in the world, but I didn't want to play something quite that fast, I wanted to play something, I guess, with a little more emotion. So I eventually just, gave up on trying to start a band or find a band. I just started, writing my own stuff, and that's when I found the studio in Northport. I had years of guitar stuff that I had been working on. They kind of helped me arrange, the songs, and I'll never forget, the guy's name is Rick Duncan. I used to try to write all these crazy, complicated guitar things, probably made no sense to anybody but myself, He was listen, man, most hit songs are pretty much all follow the same format, you know. Verse, chorus, or verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, you know. I learned a lot from that. And that's kind of when I got my foot into like writing music. In the newspaper, they had this ad for, you know, the ex-guitar player from Tesla giving guitar lessons. I had been playing the guitar like my whole life, you know, and like I knew all of the techniques. I knew I could play anything pretty much, but I just did not understand how to play solos, you know. I don't know, I had like one guitar lesson from that guy, and then he kind of like explained it to me, and then after that it was like the light came on, and then just instantly I was able to play solos on whatever. For the longest time I thought, oh, I guess you just play scales just to get good with your fingers, you know. And it's crazy because I had been like, you know, when I was a kid I took guitar lessons, but nobody ever told me that, you know. Like they would say, here's some scales, learn the scales, and I would learn the scales. They left out that one key ingredient of why you know the scale. And then, you know, after there was a point where he was like, you know, there's not really much I can teach you. You know, you're pretty good. There's not much I can. I mean, after he showed me that stuff, in my mind I was thinking, well, this guy's famous. Well, you know what? How about I hire you to help me produce some songs? You know, I wasn't planning on being a singer. I originally planned on, you know, putting a band together and then finding a singer, and I would be the guitar player. But as time went on, I can't find anybody. Everybody was either, you know, they're big ego, or like they're playing some screamo music, or you know, just whatever. It just wasn't working. So I finally told myself, well, man, if I'm gonna put out any music, I'm gonna have to sing it myself, you know. So at first I was like really shy, you know. I didn't really know what I was going for, you know. But one thing I got with working with Tommy is that when he first came by, and I was like, he would want me to sing in front of him, but you know, in my mind I was thinking, man, this guy's been all over the world playing, you know, and like, you know, the first session or two was pretty bad, you know. But then something happened, like on about the third time or the third session we had, where I just quit caring, and that day, like, my voice came out, and then I realized, you know, maybe I can do this, you know, maybe I can sing these songs, you know. Tommy from Tesla and Rick Duncan. I remember one thing that really hit me hard is that my grandfather was getting older, and I couldn't get back there to see him. Like, I knew that, you know, at some point he was going to be passing, you know. And he used to eat at me inside, and I remember when I was working on the title track for the album Walk to the Light. I mean, I remember I just had the music, and I was, you know, playing it. I remember just sitting there and then thinking about my grandfather, like that, like wanting to be able to see him one more time before he passes, and the thought that, what if I never do, you know, like, you know, a lot of people have said, you know, he's a Christian artist, whatever. I am a Christian, right? But I'm not a Christian artist, you know what I mean? Pretty much every song on that album is, you know, like, it's almost like me talking to myself, you know, like to tell myself everything's gonna be okay. I guess, you know, 5 years had gone by or whatever or something, and then that's about the time though when I finally started to just get used to the fact that I'm never leaving. You know, like, this is it. This is my new home. You know, you know, I don't mind it so much anymore. I mean, I still miss Texas. I miss San Antonio. I miss seeing my dad and my brother. You know, some old friends. But, you know, life has a way of blowing you into other areas, you know, wherever the wind blows you, I guess. You know, most people think that Texas is all yeehaw, you know, and cowboys and stuff, but, you know, there's really not a big difference between Texas and Florida. Like if I fell asleep in Texas and woke up in Florida, I probably wouldn't even notice the difference other than, hey man, I can't get any tacos. I always heard this, like God will take you out of your comfort zone. Like so you can do what you're intended to do. And that's always stuck with me because, when I first got here, I kept telling myself that, like, because it was extremely uncomfortable. Yeah, I guess, being put in that situation where, you have no choice but to provide for yourself, like there was nothing to fall back on. So there was no one there to fall back on. Like I can't go stay at my dad's house. Can't go stay at my mom's house. Like I had to I had to work. I had to make money. I had to, figure it out. And even though things seem like impossible at the moment, like there's a way out. Like there's a way to get through it. Like I don't know. It's kind of like I heard this saying. Like an eagle will take his baby eagle up in the air and it'll let it drop, and it will just keep dropping, and then the big eagle will come and save it at the last minute, and then okay, let's try it again, and we'll keep doing that. That's kind of what it felt like, moving to Florida. Like I kind of got like transplanted, and it forced me to fly. Yeah.